Hi, I would like to read to you an AITA post from Reddit. It's it's we're gonna it's gonna be talking about things that like 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 abuse and um, just about domestic violence. So if if you don't want to, if that stuff triggers you, please do not watch or listen to the rest of this video. So without any further ado, let me start. AITA for running away from home because I'm terrified of my husband and also definitely terrified of my son. I, 35 female, have a son, 18 male, and a husband, 45 male, whom I am attempting to divorce. I met my husband when I was 16 at the church in my hometown. At 17, he invited me over, and I don't remember it well, but we ended up sleeping together. I was supposed to be cleaning his house for some extra pocket change, but ended up pregnant. I still can't remember everything that happened, but when my parents found out, they confronted him and made me marry him. I had my son not much longer after that. My husband is a brute. He's always mean to me. I try my best to make him happy. I'd cook his favorite foods, clean the house, do extra nice, do childcare work to make a few dollars to buy him a treat or two. But if I made one mistake he didn't like, he'd hit me. I used to cry to my father about it, but he'd tell me it's my punishment for having premarital sex. I'd ask my father what my husband's punishment was, and he'd say his punishment is having to settle for you. I don't think I ever recovered from that. Before anyone asked about my mother has always been kind of out of it. She's on medication since I was a child, and she's kind of like a zombie. She doesn't talk much or do much of anything unless my father says so. She was different when I was little, but I hardly remember those days. The hitting got worse to the point where I wasn't really allowed to leave the house, or if I did, I had to wear makeup or else my husband would think I was trying to get him in trouble. My son grew up watching this. I've heard stories of kids hating their abusive fathers, but my son loved his father more than he loved me. I never wanted my son to hate his father, but he started acting out, and eventually he started laying hands on me. My son started hitting me when he was 10. It was light, and I told him to stop, but as he got older, he started beating me. If I told him no, he beat me. If I didn't do something he wanted, he slapped or kicked me and even punched me. And my husband would back him up a lot of the times. He'd say he's just learning to be a man. He'll stop when he's older and has his own wife. It got to the point where I was terrified of my baby. The only thing in this world I ever got to make it, and he terrified me. When he was 16, he broke my arm really bad because I showed my husband his report card. My husband disciplined him, which I think is a lie, but he never told me how. Um, I grew I grew to hate my son so much every day, but I still try to be good to him, to help him. He didn't want that. I couldn't make him want that. I couldn't sleep or eat without dreaming of my son and husband hurting me. My son once pinned me on the ground because I've asked him to help me lift something. I'm frail and I couldn't lift much. When he pinned me, he hit me a lot and I could feel it. He hurting me aroused him. He humped me for a few seconds, and then he started screaming at me, saying that it was all my fault, and locked himself in his room. I didn't tell my husband. I should have, but somehow I felt like I would have just gotten hurt worse, either by my sons or my husband. He was 17 when it happened, so last year, after his 18th in January, I packed a bag and wandered off into the night. I don't have friends. My father wouldn't help me, even if I told him these things. I slept on a park bench and went to the library and looked up a women's shelter. I worked really hard and got a studio apartment. I don't know how, but my son found me. He spent hours at my door knocking and crying for me, calling me mama. He hadn't called me that in years. I was terrified he'd break the door down and drag me back to the house, but um, my neighbors made him leave. My son has somehow gotten my number, and now my husband and father and sons, some of my son's friends are texting me and calling me horrible names. My son says I'm a bad mother for running away and not loving him the way he loves me. My husband says he won't grant me a divorce and that he'll take whatever I have right now and that I failed as a woman. My father says I'll die alone because I'm a bad woman. My father even got my mother on the phone to speak to me. She's all pilled out, though, so I shouldn't take her words to heart. But she says that a woman can never abandon her child, no matter how painful life gets. She told me when my father hurt her, she never left me. So I was a coward and a failure for leaving my son. She said that she could forgive a divorce but not leaving my baby behind. So AITA, edit. Well, I have no issues responding to comments. The idea of replying to personal messages terrify me for some reason. Please don't be upset if I don't message you. I don't mean to be weird. Edit 2, I've been reading a lot of comments and I'm grateful and I'm very overwhelmed. I won't get into specific, but I just packed an essentials bag and have purchased a ticket for out of town. I got off the phone with a shelter a few thousand miles away, and they're willing to get me once I arrive in their city. I'll figure out divorces and restraining orders once I'm finally there. Until then, I'll read comments to see if there are any more useful things to learn. Luckily, my studio is on a month-to-month lease because I never really planned on making this a permanent home. So leaving this as hard as I thought. Running away the first time was hard, but maybe the second time will be easier. Update. Here's a small update, and I won't likely update again. To being nervous about everything, but I'm a bus. I got on this morning, and I'm about 5 hours away from the state, and then I'll be getting on a plane. I have enough money for a ticket, so I'll be super far away. I won't work on divorce until a few months from now, and I have a small job lined up. It's nothing special, it's just a 12 an hour fast food gig, and I'm grateful for all the advice. My old landlord is sorry to see me go, but I paid off this month's rent and told him he could sell the little bit of furniture I had. He said he'd give me half of that money once it's all sold. He's very kind, a little scary looking, but when I spoke to him over the phone after I left, he was very understanding. Thank you all for everything, and I'm sorry, but this is the last thing anyone will hear from me unless I work up the nerve to update again. You're all incredibly wonderful and special people to me. That's a lot to read, and I'm going to give my judgment right here and now. No, OP, you're not the butthole. I mean, I feel sorry that you had to endure this, and nothing that you did was ever your fault. You didn't fail anyone. The men in your life failed you. I mean, your husband because he beat you, your son because he doesn't respect you as a mother and he also beat you, and your father basically because he is enabling this abuse and doing nothing to protect you. I mean, and also I would have to blame the mother because even though she's probably a victim of abuse herself, she's also enabling it her. I mean, and not protecting OP in her time of need, and this is really sad. I mean, I pray for OP's safety. I mean, that she be protected from people like her husband, her son, and her father. And I pray that God gets a hold of the husband, the son, the father, and that they repent of their sins, and they turn their lives around before it's too late. Because these people are. I mean, they say that OP doesn't deserve any anyone in her life to care about her. Well, these men don't deserve to have anyone in their lives caring about them, because they sound like really awful people. I mean, this not and OP leaving them, it might as well be like Lot and his family leaving Sodom. I mean, this needed to happen. This family is totally beyond saving. It's only God can rescue them now, and I can't even laugh at this. This is so awful. OP, you are not the butthole. I mean, anyway, that's pretty much all I have to share with you in this video. So, have a good day, and may God bless you.